Are you just gonna ignore the fact that you can hear your friends singing out there? Continuing right from where we left off last week, the princess had realized that they had missed one and went to confront a powered-up bishop and their mid-season boss. What? I can't hear you over your boisterous BGM! Callisto introduced himself to the princesses, who for whatever reason were shocked at how callous he was over stealing someone else's energy, which, you know, after 12 episodes of this stuff, you'd think you'd all be used to it by now. That said, on an interesting and kind of consistent note, they were going into this second consecutive battle with their motivation points already pretty much maxed out, meaning that they could actually start with their finishers, which I'm sure won't lead into anything bad. It's one of the most basic anime tropes saying that they really shouldn't start with them. At the same time, other girls were trying to log into the Owlspear, but were being turned away due to some maintenance. Hey, who are the omelet rice duck? Seriously, what cruel god created you? But yeah, this is seemingly the first time that the Owlsperians were more actively turning away users for their safety, which seems to go against the Bandersnatch's earlier goals of attacking with a low profile in order to maintain a solid stream of victims of the week. To me, this seems like they're going to change up their plans in the following episodes in order to compensate for everyone's awareness of them, but we'll have to wait and see. Back with one of the said baddies and the princesses, we got a pretty good initial fight with the cannon fodder, but the real highlight came when they tried to take down the bishop and... Between this and K-pop Demon Hunters, why do I keep falling for the bad boys? But yeah, Callisto actually revealed that himself, and probably the rest of his band, were capable of using Muse Essence, and in his case, if his great singing didn't already get across, he was really damn strong. So much so that not only was he able to just walk through all of the princess's finishers, he also basically pulled a Twilight from Princess Precure and gave them a dressing down, albeit mostly just based on the characters' names rather than their actual measurable traits, but hey, he only just met them. And it was pretty clever, as he did point out how all of their names, Zeal, Meteor, and Ripple, represented occurrences that had very fleeting lifespans, like how meteors quickly burn away in the atmosphere, or how Zeal, as an emotional reaction, could only really last about 90 seconds. And yet people keep trying to convince me that it's the best Yu-Gi-Oh season when so obviously GX. But yeah, this is a really effective beatdown for the princesses, both on a physical and emotional level, and again, his singing was just great, making this an awesome victory for the bad guys. And yet, according to Bess, it actually could have been worse for the princess, as he was apparently holding back. Of course, that could probably apply to all of them, including Bess, considering that they didn't sing, but I think for him, he just really wanted to hear more of Callisto's tunes. We get it, dude, you're super tsundere for the guy. Later, the princesses regrouped in the field from the beginning of the episode, where the twins were. Yeah, our heroines pretty much got the Team Rocket treatment, considering how far away the locations were. Thus, understandably, their spirits were a little down. I mean, sure, Minamo and Kaguri tried to keep up brave faces, but they were aware that they were up against a really strong enemy. And interestingly, the usually peppy Nagsei took things a little more pessimistically. It wasn't at all out of character for her, just the side that we don't often see. I mean, we did see it in her debut episodes, which highlights how there are layers to these characters, which I love to see in my superhero shows to really highlight how drastic the situation was. So it would make sense that they took a little time to let the girls marinate on this and figure out their next course of action, but unfortunately, that's not exactly what they do. Instead, we got a bit of Nagsei stumbling upon the twins, with the conscious one encouraging her sister, in spite of the fact that she clearly couldn't hear her, and yet seeing someone hold on to hope in such a dire situation managed to motivate the princesses. That and a little unintended pressure helped too. Thankfully, this isn't a world where Disney remakes exist. With that, Nagsei slapped her cheeks to perk herself up and make them red briefly. Seriously, that's a nice little touch that they didn't need to include, but they did, and I appreciate it. It did make up for them kind of rushing through this little downer sequence, but we'll discuss it more during the closing thoughts. Anyway, the princesses confronted Callisto for a round 2, making the remainder of this episode pretty much just one extended fight scene, which I will usually not complain about, including now. I mean, sure, I could criticize there being a lot of finisher spamming, but at the same time, that was kind of the point. The princesses were still at least a little charged after at least a couple of fights in the same day, and they all wanted to prove that while they represented occurrences that can quickly fade away, they could also live on or happen again under the right circumstances. And in turn, they themselves could stand again even after a devastating defeat. This was amazingly told as the three sung trio dreams throughout the whole sequence, and of course it led them to doing their group finisher, which Callisto managed to effortlessly hold back, and likely could have ended things whenever he wanted, but he held back, especially when he saw something interesting happening with the princesses. Something about this feels familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Yeah, while purposely not clearly shown, we got a peek of the show's equivalent of the X-Drive forms. The implication here, of course, being that they were still incomplete, and thus something that Callisto wanted to see reach completion, so even though he could still clearly go, he retreated and let his poor bishop be annihilated. Yeah, calling it now, this is probably going to be the saddest death in this whole series. I mean, I just feel bad for the little guy. But with that, the day was saved with the twins being reunited, the princess getting another shard, and Nachi proving that she was Minamo's best waifu. However, the real takeaway came afterwards when not only did Callisto and Drun pretty much confirm that they were trying to raise the princesses to becoming stronger for their own personal enjoyment, but they also seemed to be doing it for a higher power as we finally got to see the creepy claw person from the opening. With that, the episode ended with us seeing the strongest piece in the chess set, the Queen, in all of her creepy glory. This was a pretty good conclusion to what's clearly the first arc of the series. It effectively got across how powerful Callisto was by having him outright curb stomp our heroines, which just made the reveal of the Queen all the more foreboding. That said, this arc did feel like a bit of an overextended prologue, so hopefully they'll be able to pick things up in the following ones. The thing I liked about Callisto, aside from his really good singing voice, was how they did not hold back on establishing how much stronger he was than all three of the princesses combined. Throughout this whole episode, he did not break a single sweat, and at best was only a little surprised by, appropriately, their brief rushes of power, including the preview of their super forms. It made him look like not only a really damn stylish villain, but also a genuine threat who, like Drun, was just biding his time until they could truly become worthy opponents. It gives the princesses a good goal to work towards, whilst their current resolve and dedication is at least helping them save the day for now. That said, I do kind of wish we had gotten to see a little bit more of a fallout after their first loss to him to really highlight how much of an impact he had left, but I also get that they couldn't leave the twins hanging. Plus, I think they were obligated to resolve things this week to make for a proper 12-episode core. On that note, overall, this was a solid enough start to the series, but I do want to see them pick things up going forward, as not only have the characters seemingly only scratched the surface of the mysteries of both the Alice Spear and the Bandsnatch, but said antagonists seem like they have a lot more to give. The Queen has an awesome and creepy design, and hopefully we can learn more about what her and her minions' motivations are. Until then though, this is still a really exciting episode focused on the action and music, which has just been amazing throughout this whole series, to the point that I'm looking forward to hearing more from the Bandsnatch too. So overall, while I wish they'd up the drama a little more, this episode, and this core in general, is still a really fun little ride that I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of. In the battle of boys versus girl idols, I don't really care who wins, just give me some good tunes. Thanks for watching, and if you want some more good song recommendations, we actually do have some reviews that are going to cover stuff like that. The latest Kamen Gav episode included a really catchy insert song, and we might also do a short review for another movie that I recently watched. So look forward to Gav tomorrow, and until then though, farewell for now my friends, and if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go listen to some more songs from K-pop Demon Hunters. What can I say, they're really catchy.